3 quick factoids, one you already know. Most of you know daylight saving times. Boom, gone already, right? See how quickly time flies? Nobody was here at 7:30 Mass this morning, right? Right? Factoid number 2. Ready for this one? 10% of Lent is already gone. Now, Lent is how many days? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 4 into 40 is 1/10, right? Shocking, isn't that crazy? And if you have kids or grandkids in school, raise your hands. Very exciting news. This coming week, the 3rd quarter's over. 3/4 of the school year done already. Crazy, yes? Summer vacation is right around the corner, right? Crazy. It reminds us of how quickly time flies. So here's the end of the 3rd quarter story. So this quarter's wrapping up. All the teachers are giving tests because they need to get the 3rd quarter grades together. Yes? Yes? Yes. So everybody's getting tests, right? So I asked one student, remain anonymous in this case, you'll know why. I said, well, how did your tests go? Oh. Oh. And then the head started shaking. And then there's just a burst of laughter, right? How did that test go? How did the test go? Not so good, right? So then great wisdom, I asked the question, well, did you study? And that even created a bigger burst of laughter and they walked away, right? However, Jesus must have studied because in the gospel today, he passed the test. Today's gospel is very soul-stirring for all of us. And very familiar, right? The devil was tempting and testing and taunting Jesus, yes? Yes. And yet Jesus, what did he do? Passed the test. And if the devil could be so bold, have the audacity to tempt, to test, to taunt Jesus, can you imagine what the devil is trying to do to us? Think about it for a moment. If the devil could be so bold, even calls him the Son of God in the gospel, if the devil could be so bold to test, to tease, to taunt Jesus, what about us? And then the better question, how are you holding up against the test? Think about tests. You gotta study, you gotta prepare. If you study and you're prepared, how does the test usually go? But if you don't study, if you're not prepared, how does the test go? And laugh and walk away. And the good news for us today is the scriptures outline for us how to prepare, how to study for the test. The first reading today, Moses. What did Moses do? In order to study and prepare for the test, he went back over the notes. He's going back into their history of the people, right? And talking about very difficult times, very struggled, painful times in their life. And as he reviewed the notes, if you will, what he and they found out was the faithfulness of God. As they reviewed the notes, they found the faithfulness of God, that God found a way to enter in, not only to help them, but to save them. Go to the second reading today. The second reading is a powerful reminder. It's not just enough to memorize the answers for the test, is it? St. Paul to the Romans says, you really gotta know the information. You gotta live it with your life. You gotta breathe it. You gotta own it so well that it's reflected in every choice and action that you make. So if you're just studying, if you will, to get the answers for the test, you're gonna fail, yes or yes? Yes. But if you know it so well and live it with your life, those are the ones that find the mercy, the grace, and the salvation of the Lord. Number 3, if you know what's going to be on the test, how should you do on the test? About 20 of you know this. If you know what's going to be on the test, how should you do on the test? You should do great. And the gospel today tells us what's on the test. Again, the gospel tells us that all of us, the church-going people, are going to be tested by the devil. The people that don't believe in God or don't come to church and don't do religious things, the devil's already got them, yes or yes? So who's the devil going to go after? Shocking. And here's how the devil works. The devil teases, taunts, and tempts with power, with riches, and with comfort. Think about the three experiences. What does the devil do? The devil tempts, taunts, and teases with power, with riches, and with comfort. Comfort being the ultimate addiction. So when you see yourself being distracted by the tools of the devil, in that moment, you should know that you are undergoing the test. And if you know what's on the test, you, I, we ought to be so prepared. Because if the devil is bold enough to go after Jesus, the devil is going to go after each of us as you walk into the week. 10% done with Lent already. Shocking, yes? Shocking, yes? You've got to use this time well to strengthen your faith, so to speak, to study and prepare to walk in the ways of the Lord. By the time that we gather next week, 17 of the 40 days will be over. Even more shocking, yes? You've got to use the time well. Number 2, write down whatever is your Lenten commitment, write it down. Why? Because it's going to be easy, if you will, to get distracted and forget. So write it down so that you can see it every single day. Many times a day to keep you focused on what you committed and set out to do. And number 3, go to the cross of Jesus Christ. Read the end of the second reading from Paul to the Romans. Anybody who goes to the cross of Jesus Christ, you find the outpouring of God's grace, mercy, and salvation, literally now and forever, to help us right underneath our cross as a spiritual exercise. Get up, not doing Mass, but get up, right? And literally, at the table there are slips of paper where you can write your prayer need, your concern, your struggle, the cross that you're carrying. Literally write it down and place it at the foot of the cross of Jesus Christ. There is no better place for us to place our worries, our concerns, and our burdens than to give them to the Lord. So literally do the spiritual exercise to go to the cross. Because when we go to the cross, we will find the grace of God now and forever. We come to the cross, we lay our cares before you. Lord, hear our prayer. We come to the cross, we lay our cares before you. Lord, hear our